Hey, what's up? This is Paul Russell Parker III, aka PRP3 The Author. Now, with this video, I want to talk about how to price ebooks for beginners. This is something that every indie author has dealt with, has struggled with, and even if they're established, they probably still have problems with this because let me be the first to tell you there is no magic formula and there's no perfect price point for any book that's first published. You're gonna have to experiment. You have to go through what everyone else has went through in the past. Now, every day I look in forums and groups and I look at other indie author related websites and I see the same questions being asked. What did you price your book at? Maybe I should price it the same because, what worked for you, it might work for me. Well, you can't do that. What works well for one genre might not work well for another genre when it comes to pricing. Also, within the same genre, you might not want to price your book what an established author prices their book at because they already have a readership and fan base who are willing to pay any price to read that book. So you're gonna have to experiment and see what uh, what sells best for your book. Now, for me, there's pretty much three different price points. There's low, mid, high. You don't want to price your book at paperback prices because people don't want to pay paperback prices for an ebook, because you didn't go through a printing press, you didn't go through a factory. They're just not willing to pay that much for an ebook. So there's a low price point level, which I consider 99 cents to $2. There's the mid price point level, which I consider at $2 to $4, and then anything between $5 to $9 is the high point of for pricing and whatnot. So you may be surprised, at what works for you and what doesn't work. You might think that you can start off very low and your books will fly off the shelves. Well, it might not work that way. Some people might see you as, an untested, untried, brand new author, no reviews. They're not going to be willing to spend the money because they might not trust the quality of the work because they're thinking, well, if you're selling it for 99 cents, maybe it's not even edited, maybe you just threw something out there. And then you might think you want to go high and sell at a higher price point, and that might be too much because, like I said, you're untried, untested. They're not going to want to spend that much money on a indie author that they don't know anything about yet. So you might go with the mid level, and that may work, it may not work. So as you can see, it's very confusing and it's nothing's gonna make sense. You're gonna beat your head over, against the wall because the prices, where you're setting them at, it's not working. And outside of your friends and family and coworkers, you're not getting much sales. Um, so you're thinking, okay, well, this is not working, that's not working. What's gonna work? Well, just keep trying, keep moving the prices around, as well as doing other things like you can give away freebies. Freebies, a lot of people don't like other authors who do it, or they think it's kind of hurting the industry. I don't see anything wrong with it because it helps get your book out there. People might read it and they'll spread the word about your book to their friends, and it might generate a review or two, and you're building a fan base. You're building a readership, and hopefully you have another book in the works, and that's gonna follow pretty closely behind, and you can have that fan base read your other books. You're also on social media, like I talk about in my other videos, or you should be, and that keeps giving away freebies will draw readers into your social media because you're putting your social media information into your call of action or call to action in your books. So freebies are a good thing to do, and if you give away enough, you might have a readership built, and you can start adjusting your prices again, and you might find that, okay, I can start pricing it at 2.99, 3.99, and that's kind of working for me. People are buying the book. Discounts are also fine. I've seen people offer a book for a high price and they deeply discount it 50, 60%, and that draws readers in. Readers will say, hey, this book is really discounted. This is a great deal. I'm getting this book for a steal, so let me buy it. And then you can lift the discount later on, and then you can adjust the price because you see that it's rising in the ranks, and then people see that your books, it's not a top bestseller yet, but it's getting there, and they're they're willing to pay the different price points, you know. And you never know, you might sell a lot of books and you might have it priced high, and then you adjust it to low, and then your books fall off the shelves. Or you might have your book priced at a low price point, it's flying off the shelves, and you price it higher and it still flies off the shelves. You don't know until you try it. So just go ahead and just tweak it here and there and see what works and what doesn't work, and keep note of what works. And it really kind of fluctuates because you never know what readers are going to do. You never know how the market is going to be. You might write crime thrillers, but in the media they're showing nothing but like fantasy movies and fantasy TV shows. Well, those books are going to start flying off the shelves because people want to read about what they see on TV. And you might have a high priced crime thriller, and you realize that your sales are dropping. You might adjust it to a lower price, and that might keep you viable until thrillers come back in popularity. So it all really depends on all sorts of different variables and factors that you have no control over. So you just need to keep working at it. You don't know if you publish a book and it's going to sit there for 5 years and no one will look at it, and then all of a sudden it just takes off, it becomes a bestseller after then. Or you might publish 8 books, and all eight books just sit there. They sell 10 copies each, and you feel like a failure. You publish that ninth book and it becomes a bestseller, and then you have people buying your previous 8 books in your catalog, and you become a well-known author. You don't know, things just happen, and you can't really gauge it or predict it. You can't price things out perfectly. It's just gonna have to happen, and you got to keep at it. So one thing I do that really helps take the pressure off pricing is, if your book is eye-catching, if it jumps out at the reader, if it has a good cover, if it has a good blurb, if it has a good free preview, they're not worried much about what the price of the book is, because they're saying, you know what, that book looks really good. The cover, caught my eye. The blurb is really interesting, and I liked what I read in the free preview. I want to go ahead and get this book. It doesn't matter what price it is. It could be really low. It could be free. It could be $8. I don't care. I want to buy it. That will help. Having an eye-catching, jumping out at you, must-read, blurb and page-turning free preview with a great, cover full of graphics. If that can help your book stand alone and sell itself, then pricing becomes, a non-issue. You can price it at whatever you want to price it at, because it's going to sell, and hopefully with some of the freebies you've given, and, you get some reviews, and it rises in the ranks, and, you don't have to worry about pricing even more at this point. But like I said, if it can sell itself, if it can look good, if it reads well, that blurb is catching, pricing is something that is not going to keep you awake at night, because trust me, it keeps a lot of indie authors awake, especially when you're brand new and you start publishing and your book is just, flatlining. All your friends did their initial purchases, all your coworkers, all your family, everyone bought it, and then you're wondering, when is the rest of the public going to pick up on your book? And you really find out that they don't, unless you're out there constantly marketing and advertising. You're gonna start panic pricing. You're gonna start making all these decisions, and it's really gonna affect your your sales, because you're gonna drop it down to free, or you're gonna ram it up to $9, and it's not gonna move. It's not, and you're gonna feel frustrated. You're gonna want to quit. You're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna unpublish. I'm never gonna publish again. I'm done with this industry. But you can't expect everything to happen overnight. That's why I said there's no magic formula. There's no perfect price point. It's just something that's going to take some time, effort, and a lot of luck. And when it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, just keep working to make it happen. So if you like this, subscribe and like my video. Look me up on social media at PRP3 The Author, or hashtag PRP3 The Author. I'm all over the place.